Hello, fellow Earthlings. Welcome to another episode of This Non-Religious Life. As always, we are brought to you by Audible.com. You can go to www.audibletrial.com/TNRL. Sign up for a free, no cost to you. It is free 30-day trial membership. With that free 30-day trial membership, you get a free audio download. Did you notice how many times I said free? It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And just go ahead and try it out. This is our. This is how we try and fund the show. Anyway, this is how we get a little revenue going to maybe make the show bigger and better. If you like the show, go ahead, check out the free 30-day membership. If you like it, you can stay. If not, you can cancel it. You didn't pay a thing. You got a free audiobook out of it. So www.audibletrial.com/TNRL.
Jesus got out here.
I thought I was a good Christian.
Jesus died on the cross. I go to church every Sunday. Jesus got out here. Then I read that says Jesus died on a cross for a rotten hooker.
I thought I was a good Christian.
I go to church every Sunday.
I thought I was a good Christian.
I go to church every Sunday. I am a very religious person.
I thought I was a good Christian.
The very lies the serpent told to Eve in the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden. The gospel of Jesus Christ spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ spreads confusion and promotes.
Hey, Ken.
Hey everybody, it's July 30th, Monday, This Non-Religious Life. I'm your host, Ken. All the way across the country, we have Bob and Jason.
How's it going?
Say hi, guys.
Hello.
And we have a very, very, very special guest today, Ben Frey from the Secular Student Alliance at Old Dominion University. So, Ben, why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit?
I'm Ben. I'm the founder and president of the Secular Student Alliance. We founded last fall. I'm a psych major, and I got the idea, oddly enough, from reading an issue of Psychology Today. There was a ad in the paper for it, and I was like, why not? You know, and I looked on campus at the listings for all the organizations, and there's, I think, 15 Christian organizations, and then a Jewish organization and a Muslim organization. So I thought there needs to be a little bit of secular atheism, you know, on campus. So I started that, and then, you know, we've been growing strength. We got about 40 members, so chugging through.
We've always talked on the show about the benefits of belonging and not believing. And I remember when I went to ODU too, and when I was there, I was never an activist type of person, but when I was there, I looked for a secular organization, and there was none. And now I'm glad to see that they were, and you guys are just out of the nest, right? Just, you say last year?
Basically, yeah. We like I said, last year we started. We've gotten a slow start, but we started bringing advertising, getting people to come in. We actually have things lined up for this coming fall and spring, speakers, events, all kinds of stuff. So, and like you said, belonging and not believing, it's kind of another reason I wanted to start the group is, just to give students a place to hang out and have that community where you go to a church, you have the sense of community, support, whatnot, and atheists on campus didn't have that.
No, there was no secular atheism groups when I was there, but lots of Christian groups. There's a lot of Bible being thrown around.
Still are.
How are you guys received on campus? Like, how do other campus groups, how do they perceive you, and how does the university perceive you guys?
Well, when we first signed up, we didn't have any opposition whatsoever, which I was completely surprised about. when you go through the corporate secular student alliance, there's like a whole packet they send you how to start a group and whatnot, and it gives information about how, you know, if there's negative feedback towards your group, if posters are taken down and what to do, who to contact, that kind of thing. None of that has happened as far as I'm aware of, which is really good. As far as other groups, there's mixed reactions. Of course, we aligned ourselves with the other, like the health clinic, the women's health, gay organizations on campus, psychology groups, science groups, stuff like that. The people so far that don't really like us just haven't really said anything.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the best the best reaction, you know. So far it's been pretty civil, which is good.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'd hate for civil discourse to break down at any point. That's certainly, nobody wants that.
No.
And you know, we had it's pleasant to find that most of the sort of horror stories you hear about these ideologies clashing, you read about it all the time in the news and in the media, but that seems to be the exception and not the norm. We had a guy on. He spent some time in a Muslim nation, and he's a secularist atheist, but you know, his take-home message was, you know, he lived among these poor Muslim tribes in Africa, and his take-home message was like, you know, people are people everywhere. Most people want to get along. If you treat people well, you'll get that back too. And it was refreshing to see that there wasn't this ideological clash, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was nice, and it's good to hear that that's going on campus. You know, but like secretly in your heart, you're like, just bring it on, man.
Yeah, we are.
We're ready.
You know, and we have, you know, private meetings. We have a private Facebook group and a public Facebook page. And, you know, in a private section, we do have, you know, people that are, you know, a little bit more aggressive. But I don't think any of us with death to all the Christians or anything like that.
No, nobody wants that at all.
I think, you know, being a secular organization, you know, we try to promote, you know, to each their own. You know, you can believe what you want to believe, just don't let it affect us, you know, or, you know, just don't let it affect other people that don't wish to be affected.
Well, one of the things I think that secular groups are so important is that, and we sort of touched on it on the last show, where we were saying that we talked like we were saying like kindness and compassion, or somebody was saying that kindness and compassion were Christian values. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Those are human values.
Yeah.
You know, and kindness and compassion are not they're not the sole property of Christianity, and neither are good works. So you know, it's good you need groups out there that are espousing kindness and compassion outside of religion.
Yeah, I know. I took a class on positive psychology, and we basically went through like all the different cultures and whatnot. And you're exactly right. You know, it's not a Christian thing; it's a human thing. No matter what religion you go through, you see that, you know, whether you're Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, whatever. You know, you always see compassion, respect, love, all these positive things. So it is a human thing, and I don't think it should be, you know, added or only added to religion.
Yeah, but I think that's the popular perception, is that kindness and compassion, we call those Christian values, and they're not. They're not the property of Christianity or religion at all.
No, and then of course atheists eat babies.
Right? Yeah, I know, and they are delicious.
They are
chocolate covered for me.
Yeah, I know. Like bacon.
I actually ran across, just on a side note there, I was just looking for cookie cutters because for Darwin's birthday last year, or back in February, we made Darwin fish cookies and gave them out for free. So I was looking for a Darwin fish cookie cutter, which apparently does not exist for some reason. But oddly enough, I came across fetus cookie cutters. I kid you not. They're called fetal bites, if anyone wants to look them up. And
Fetal bites.
it's really funny because they come out, just like a fetus would with a tail and everything.
I don't think they come out exactly like a fetus would.
No.
But
they're a
No,
lot
no, Jason.
drier.
Exactly. Exactly. Like,
Crunchier.
And it's really good when you put the chocolate chip eye there. It just
Oh, nice.
takes it off. But I
oh yeah,
digress.
found him online. Fetal Bites, America's #1 fetus cookie cutter.
We thought we might get a little angry customers that we passed out fetal bites, so we didn't do that.
Oh my gosh. Well, that brings me to a good question. Like what kind of activities do you guys do on campus? Like what's on your calendar or your agenda?
In the past, we've done a few things. We have just as a group on ourselves, we have game nights, hang out, do movies, stuff like that. As a more public organization, we tend to do different campaigns. Like there's the Out campaign, which tries to get atheists and agnostics and other seculars to come out of the closet, per se, just like the gays and lesbians and whatnot have their coming out thing. There's the Ask an Atheist Day, where people can come up. We all have stickers that say Ask an Atheist, and you can come up and ask us things. We don't debate because that's not the venue we're looking for, but you can ask us questions, things like that. And this coming semester, we're having people come from outside the school. We have a psychiatrist coming in from UVA. As well as an author coming to do speaking engagements on campus. So we try to have a lot of different things. We went to the Reason Rally back in March. A group of 10 of us went up there. A few of us went to the Women in Secularism Conference back in May, I think it was, which was the first conference dedicated to women in secularism, which was kind of neat to go to. So we try to have a diverse thing. We're going to have movie nights, all kinds of things.
Awesome.
Interesting thought. What's the breakdown of men and women in the group?
Well, there are more men than women, but it's not as many. It's not as diverse as it's not as different as you would think. It's I would think maybe like 60-40.
Oh, really? That's pretty good though, because traditionally women are not involved in secularism. I'm not sure why.
Well, there's actually first off, secular student groups on campus tend to be the most popular thing right now. They're the fastest growing type of organization on campus, and I believe that's because more people are, with the internet, people can come out and find support for it, whereas 10, 15 years ago you had to stay, either in the closet or in a back room somewhere. So with that, we're able to advertise ourselves more, get people to come in. Racially, we also have different races. We have more blacks than you would think, which is, it's still heavily, white. But we're trying to get more minorities in the group as well. Which is good. So, yeah, it's definitely. And I think another part of it is ODU is a very diverse campus. Mm-hmm. We represent over 120 different countries. So with that, we're going to have a diverse group to bring into our grasp. That's
neat. It's interesting the connectedness that the internet provides for people who are atheists and secular. Remember when we did the one meetup group?
Yeah. We
because we were talking about belonging versus believing, and we thought, well, let's just have a meetup one time. It was just before Ken moved to California, and we just posted a meetup on there's a Tidewater atheist group, meetup group, and like 26 people showed up.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know any of them.
All right.
And it was really a nice time. We made some good friends out of it. There's some people, that you got to talk to more, so that I remember them better than others. But I was really surprised. Like that community is out there. You just have to reach out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just like in a church, where you have 100, 300, people in your congregation. Chances are you don't know all those people. Yet they all support you because it's that community. And just like that, we have things, social media like meetup.com and, Facebook groups and stuff like that, which just provide this huge sense of community with complete strangers. And like you said, 20 people just of strangers. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because even among people who know each other, sometimes it's a complete mystery. Like Bob and I, we knew each other as sort of acquaintances for a while, but it wasn't until we started this show that we had any idea that the other one was interested in this sort of thing.
I think that's because very few people wear their atheism on their sleeve. And yeah. Well, I was getting to that. But there's no reason not to. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it is. Well, it's so stigmatized,
Yeah, if you, because a lot of people listen to the show and don't have the camera. Ben has an atheism tattoo, atheist A, on his arm. He's got it tattooed. So, good on you, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, as the president of a secular student alliance, I feel like it's not something I should hide. And it's one of the reasons that we started the group is to go out there and say, hey, we're not devil worshippers. We're just like every other normal person trying to get a degree in the world. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I don't try to hide that I'm an atheist, but I definitely don't shout it from the rooftop. I mean, here I am on a show with cameras. But
as you were saying, what?
This goes farther than the rooftop.
But that's your fault. You're up to me.
Wait, my fault.
Yeah.
I think you can go back to episode, what was it, on The Talking Dead, where you two were on the show, you and Ken, and you're like, hey, let's do this.
That's just because I'm a nerd and like talking about stuff.
And that's another good thing about social media these days is, you can put a link out there, post it on the board, Ours is facebook.com/SSAODU. And people can go there and without really a big commitment, click like, join the group and whatnot. And then you might be friends with that person but didn't know that they were an atheist. But now you do. Because like you say, it's not something you just, go around shouting out, hey, I'm an atheist. Most people don't wear the shirt. So it's another good thing that the internet allows us to do that.
Yeah, so has that story happened a lot where you found that out about people that you didn't know otherwise?
Yeah, I won't say it's happened a lot, but a good friend of mine who I'm in another organization with, I found out because I was starting this group, and I don't think that would have come out otherwise. So yeah, it's definitely the belonging to this group lets you know that other people are out there. So
yeah, I don't walk around with my copy of God Delusion under my arm everywhere I go.
But you do.
But you should.
But what you do is anytime we're in a public venue, especially when there's drinks around, and somebody mentions something, take for example Bob Torres from Torres versus Zombie when we were at MarsCon.
Yeah, Alfredo. Yeah, but he shouts. He gets into shouting matches. He wins on volume. Yeah, I do like talking about it with people, which is, I don't know, funny. But you said that you don't, as an organization, you don't debate. Is that?
It's not that we don't debate. It's just at that particular event that we have, the Ask an Atheist. It's merely just ask questions to get rid of myths and things like that. We do debate, things like that. It's just that particular event's not geared towards it.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly an event where people are wearing their atheism on their sleeve. I mean, they got a button on, a badge. Did you get asked anything crazy?
Not really.
No?
I thought we didn't get too many takers. We've only done it once or twice, and we haven't gotten more than 3 or 4 takers each time we did it in an hour segment each time. I think people were kind of either more shocked or just rushing to get to their next destination.
So do you have... You're in one centralized area with stickers on your shirt, or do you actually have like a kissing booth type setup that says "Ask an Atheist"?
What we usually do is we'll have a table right in the middle of the main student center. We'll set up a table. We'll have a big banner that says Secular Student Alliance. We put that up. We all have stickers that say Secular Student Alliance, Ask an Atheist, things like that. And we usually make another sign that says Ask an Atheist. But no, we don't have a kissing booth. So that's a good addition, Kiss an Atheist.
Yeah.
Spreading love.
Yeah. Well, what did you get asked on the? Who were the takers? What did they want to know?
More just general questions. Like, what does secular mean? A lot of people apparently don't know what that means, or have mixed ideas about what that means. Most people think it means purely atheism, which it really doesn't. It just means, things without religion.
Right.
The secular government's not an atheist government. It just doesn't include religion as into laws and whatnot. Things like that. What we stand for. More just generalized questions. Unfortunately, I was hoping we would ask if we were devil worshippers or something. No, I guess they were too afraid to anger us.
Yeah. We've talked a lot on the show about how atheist non-believers are growing as a group, but yet at the same time, as a group, they are the most feared and distrusted of all groups when they break it down into by I guess by religious.
Yeah, it's one of the events that we're hoping to plan for the upcoming semester or next spring maybe is it's going to be called the Trifecta of Evil, and it's we're going to have a panel of gay black atheists, and if you look on that list of people that who you would vote for, gays, black, and atheists are at the very bottom, with atheists being last. So we're going to call it the Trifecta of Evil because apparently those are the most evil people in the world. So yeah, I think for the first time, what did it say? Atheists finally hit 54% of America would vote for an atheist president.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's
but we're still dead last.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll change.
I would vote for
It's
more
up because it was just 2 years ago. It was like down in the mid 30s or something like that. It was really low.
Yeah, it's rocketed really fast, and I think that's mainly due to the internet and the secular organizations on campus and abroad with like American Humanist and Secular Coalition, things like that, where they're just trying to get the word out there that it's not the worst thing in the world to be an atheist.
No, that's like there's that image of atheism and those misconceptions are all over the place.
Yeah,
and you're always trying to step on those because it's not true. But and at the end of the day, I keep thinking about what a previous guest was like. It's just people are people, like everybody in this room is a person with hopes and dreams and wants and desires, and where religion falls into it or lack of religion really doesn't define you as a human being. It may it may guide your intellectual thought, but it doesn't make you more or less of a person.
No, I mean, just because you're an atheist, it's not that you don't have morals and you're going to, go on a shooting rampage or, rape a bunch of people. It's just like, I don't think every Catholic priest wants to rape a child, I'm sure that most of them don't. It's just the stigma that they've been stuck with, and sucks for them.
The Catholic Church is really having a rough time of it now. It's not a good time to be a Catholic.
Was it ever?
Yeah, no.
I guess back in the teen centuries.
I guess if you're the Pope, yeah, it's good to be the Pope, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks. It's good to be king.
Good to be king. It's good to be the king.
It was good to be a Catholic when they would burn anyone who wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh God. So what? You said you're going to do the Trifecta of Evil. What other sort of events are coming up?
Fundraising.
We have a few speakers coming in. I know in October, like I said, a psychiatrist, Dr. Andy Thompson, who's actually on the Richard Dawkins Foundation board, is going to come talk and do a presentation on psychology of religion, which is going to be really fun, especially since, for whatever reason, the psychology department at ODU doesn't teach a psychology of religion course. We're also going to have another speaker, Edward Falzon. He's an author, and he's hopefully going to talk about is religion a source for good, which should bring a lot of debate, which should be pretty interesting. Closer to us, I know next Saturday we're having a fundraising dinner at Ruby Tuesdays on Tidewater, right across from Walmart. 6:30 I think it is. So anyone that's interested, all you gotta do is come and eat. We get a portion of whatever you spend. We try to have a lot of different things. Like I said, we're gonna have some movie nights, and all of our events are open to the public. As many people as we can fit into the auditorium we'll take. So like I said, movie nights, hopefully we'll show like Agora. I don't know if y'all have seen Agora.
Oh, it's a good movie.
It's a really good movie. And then maybe Jesus Camp, which is also a crazy one. Funny story about Jesus Camp, by the way. I had seen it a long time ago, and I was going yard sailing one day and happened to stumble across it. And I asked the lady how much it was, and she gave it to me for free. But I think it was for the wrong reason. I think she thought that I was using it to promote Christianity and stuff. I don't think she knows that I'm going to try to.
It's. I've seen that. I've seen that happen a lot. I work at Narrow Video.
Oh, really?
And and when that movie came out, that was my big joke, because a lot of times people will come up to you around Halloween or something, and they'll say like, "What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?" And like with a straight face, I'm like, "Jesus Camp." And but I've also had people come in and they rent that movie, and they come back and they're like, "Oh my God, that was so inspirational about what that lady was doing." And like I watched that movie and I am utterly horrified.
Right.
And yet someone else watches that movie and has the exact opposite reaction. They're just so taken in by what she's trying to do. They showed the Mormon group in town showed the Joseph Smith and the Plates of Gold, the Mormon movie, at the Narrow one night. It was like a one night only special screening, and I watched the movie and I was like, that guy's a fucking scam artist, man. Like, he pulled the biggest scam of the 20th century, and I walked, and I was like, man, it's pretty clear to me what was going on. And then other people came out of the movies, and they're like, Joseph Smith was the prophet, and, it was so inspirational. I'm like, how could we have such wildly different reactions to the same thing?
They've been bamboozled.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you don't have a soul or a heart, sir.
Yeah, I know, right?
It takes a soul to appreciate something that good.
Well, and that's my favorite sort of retort to, arguing in those discussions with theists and God's plan and everything, because that always comes up. Oh, well, it's God's plan. This. I'm always like, well, if that's all true, then I am made such that I cannot believe.
Right.
So what does that mean in your theology, that if all of that's true, then I am made this way, and I don't think that's true at all, but I don't know, chew on that for a while. Checkmate.
I think that's really funny about the Mormon movie and Jesus Camp, and it's an exercise in phenomenology where, depending on where you stand initially, you can take a text to mean anything. You just incorporate it into your own bias, and I think it's definitely insane to imagine someone watching Jesus Camp and not being utterly horrified. Like, it really is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
But those people are out there that find it inspirational.
Yeah.
Chesapeake, I'm sure those people have Army of God. I'm sure they find it inspirational. They put hate messages on my website when I wrote about them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean,
Now
for,
that's
for the
publicity.
for the people who don't know, the Army of God are the individuals, the group that go around bombing and killing abortion doctors, and their headquarters is based here near us.
That's not very Christian.
No, that's
That's the retort I always use. That's not very Christian. That one gets a lot of people angry.
Yeah.
they
It only gets people angry when it's a non-Christian using it.
yeah.
You're not allowed to say that.
Well, a lot of we'll touch on that in a second, but we're at the halfway point. At the halfway point, we've got to go back to our sponsor, www.audibletrial.com/TNRL. That is our fancy abbreviation for This Non-Religious Life. And
It's fancy.
fancy it is. Who thought of that? It's brilliant. And you can go to that website, www.audibletrial.com/TNRL. Sign up for a free 30-day trial membership. And with that free 30-day trial membership, you get a free audiobook download. And we were batting around books to shill on the show. And one of the ones that's available, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about it before, is the Richard Dawkins book, The God Delusion, which is almost sort of required reading if you're going to, have that atheist, secularist, humanist mindset. Although, what's interesting about The God Delusion, which I've sort of, is that when I read it, I was really impressed by the book. I thought it was a really great book, right? But now I look at it, and I like to look at it critically. I like to look at where it goes wrong. And because it does go wrong in some places, but there's a lot of things it does right, and I think that being able to admit the shortcomings of something is an important step in critical thinking. Just it's not going to be all things to all people, or it's not going to do everything right. So, but it's definitely worth reading. I highly, highly recommend it. And you too can think about it critically, and you can listen to it for free if you go to www.audibletrial.com/TNRL. So anyway, there's that.
I've actually done the trial thing before, and it's totally worth it. I mean, no commitment whatsoever.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty sweet deal, and
I mean, because those
try it
books
for
usually
free.
range,
They're expensive.
$15,
Yeah.
$30, depending on the book you want, and you can just choose any of it for free.
Yeah. No, it's a super deal. And like personally, I prefer to read, but when I'm traveling somewhere or going from A to B, listening to something is really convenient, especially on a commute or something.
Oh yeah.
Don't read while you drive.
No.
Don't do that.
No.
Definitely don't do that. Yeah, I have a big long flight ahead of me, so I need to get an audiobook or something to listen to. I hate reading on planes. But
Yeah, I know. You just kick that back with your headphones. When are you leaving?
I fly out on Thursday morning, and I get back Tuesday night.
And that
So-
we should bring that up. We're not recording this show next week. We're
Yeah,
not
no show next
recording. If you're a fan of The Talking Dead, we're not recording that next week. And I think the only show that we're recording next week may be Coalesce. So we'll only have one broadcast. So everything else, I might do. If I have time, I might do a best of. But don't count on it.
A best of. Our best of might be 30 seconds long.
It might be. He's like, "Thanks for listening." That's it.
Yeah, I saw that Matt really liked that it was just going to be Coalesce
Yeah.
broadcasting.
Oh, he won't. Trust me, he won't.
All right, so Secular Student Alliance at ODU, which is a really great jumping off point for I love that ODU has this now, but what ODU also has? They have a Chick-fil-A,
They do.
and it is the most popular little joint on campus.
If you love hate, it tastes great there. They have the best tasting hate anywhere on campus.
They do. They do. How has all of this, if the Chick-fil-A debate rages on, and I'm wondering how ODU has responded.
You know, ODU as an official entity has not responded as that I know of. The students, however, have started asking that ODU remove Chick-fil-A, which it's kind of an interesting position because it's not like it's a Chick-fil-A installation. It's not run by ODU. It's actually run by Airmark, which is a third-party vendor. And for it to remove it, they're probably going to have to put something else there, which creates construction time. So I don't know if we'll actually get it removed. I hope we get it removed. It might be a great restaurant, but I don't think ODU should have anything that stands for hate on its campus, being as diverse a campus as we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people are sort of defending Chick-fil-A.
A lot.
And I don't know how they can. And I don't know. My sort of response is like you should realize that that dollar that you spend at Chick-fil-A goes to pay for, hate legislation.
Right.
That's what happens.
But the argument that the people who are still supporting Chick-fil-A are doing it for a couple of reasons. One, they're saying, well, this is just the CEO who made this statement. It doesn't reflect the individual Chick-fil-A, so therefore
wrong.
True, but I'm putting it out there so we can break it
Okay.
down, so we can actually have a discussion on it. So they're saying continue to support these franchises. You don't support Chick-fil-A's. You don't support the ideology of this one person, which has not just been one person. It's been this one person, his son, and the trickle down of the other side of it. As my co-host on Coalesce believes that he will continue to support Chick-fil-A because he are friends with people who share these same thoughts, and he doesn't want to turn his back on his friends, which we won't talk about that one on this one. We'll save that for another show. But that is still being echoed among, throughout the Christian community. Is like they're upholding Christian values. They truly 100% believe that being gay is a sin, being gay is wrong, and therefore the CEO speaking out against it, they will support that. Look at Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin even went there and posed photos with her families of eating Chick-fil-A because they are against homosexuality. The flip side of it, which is really bizarre, is each and every one of these mindless fucks who believe this are saying that it's not about hate, it's about values. And wait, I'm from Texas, and these fucking KKK motherfuckers were saying it's not hate, it's heritage. It's the same vein, and so that's the flip side of it. You know how I feel. Go.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this one over to Ben.
That's a hell of a rant.
All right. Well, I will bring up 2 points about all that. First part, ODU specifically. Like I said, the ODU part of Chick-fil-A, it is run through Airmark, but even that, Airmark still has to pay their licensing fees and whatever they make. I'm sure Chick-fil-A probably gets some sort of royalties off of it and whatnot. So that still, is giving profit to the main Chick-fil-A. Real Chick-fil-A's, you're still spending money on your Chick-fil-A sandwich, your spicy chicken, whatever you're getting. That trickles up and goes into the pockets of the CEO's son, all these people. So yes, you are funding them directly.
Well, definitely. Even if this Chick-fil-A at ODU never made a penny, if somebody never went in there and bought, and so there was never any income coming in, Chick-fil-A still makes money because they license the logo, they license the image of Chick-fil-A, and that has to be renewed.
Right, Aramark pays Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And not only that, they're also putting up the brand, the Chick-fil-A brand. It's almost kind of like them putting up a sign that says, hey, we're Chick-fil-A, we hate fags. And that being on the ODU campus, I don't think that's very tolerant.
No, it's not at all. But with regard to the what's the guy, Kathy is his name? He's the COO.
Yeah, Mr. Kathy.
Mr. Kathy. He is free to have whatever crazy religious views he wants. He's free to do. In fact, he's also free to spend the money that his company earns in any way that he sees fit.
Yeah.
Now, I might not agree with how he does it, but he's free to do that in any way he sees fit. Now, what I'm also free to do is I'm free to never step foot in a Chick-fil-A ever again.
Exactly.
So, like those freedoms. Those freedoms that we enjoy, they kind of have a cost, and there's boundaries, and Kathy of Chick-fil-A is free to back whatever legislation he wants, and he's free to pursue whatever ideology he sees fit. But he will not do it on my dime.
No, and I don't know if y'all have seen it or not, but the cities of Boston and I think Chicago, their mayors have actually said we don't want Chick-fil-A in our cities.
Yeah, and I'm kind of two minds about that.
Yeah.
Because, Chick-fil-A and Kathy, they definitely represent unpopular speech, or what I would consider unpopular speech. But unpopular speech.
But wait, before you say this, Boston did not reject Chick-fil-A because of their beliefs of marriage. It was for other reasons, and that just happened to be one.
Well, that's fine. But what my point is that government shouldn't be in the business of censoring people's ideas.
No.
And so now, if the guys, and it's sort of like in those letters, is it personal speech or is it government speech? And if it's personal speech, then yeah, that guy's free to have whatever ideas he wants and to make those ideas known. But if it's government speech, now I'm like, even though I kind of agree with it, I want them to be. I can't.
Well, it's kind of like.
But that's not even the issue. That's not what happened. It's not because Chick-fil-A came out with this and Boston said, "Oh, we're pro-gay, so you can't set up." That is not what happened. It got spun that way through social media and stuff. And sure, they're not going to deny it because it makes them look good. But that's not what happened. And for us to continue to milk that cow would be wrong. It's not what happened. So.
Well, I'll bring it back to a more local level then. To us, for ODU to allow that on campus kind of portrays an essence of kind of we don't care. It's still there. It's going to make us money. They are, like, I totally agree with you that they should be allowed to have their own opinions and whatnot. But I think as we're all trying to live in a public world, and especially ODU trying to promote a sense of, all-inclusive, we want you to come to our campus. For them to have this on campus kind of promotes the we hate gay, not necessarily that ODU hates gays, but, that they're accepting of we hate gays.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
ODU is not a government entity. In fact, they stopped being a state-funded university a while ago because it used to be Old Dominion State. They were a state university. They're not anymore. And so they're a private organization. They're not government. And so if they want to be an organization that is in favor of diversity and tolerance, then they need to seriously reevaluate the presence of that restaurant on campus.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and they would be entirely within their rights to do so and to boot them out. I mean, because they're not the government.
And it's like I said, everyone's entitled to their right. You can believe whatever religion you want to believe. Believe whatever movie is good, whatever movie is bad, whatever you personally hold dear to heart. But I'm not going to support you. And
absolutely. And I've always said that. It's never really like a religion that I have a problem with or religious views that I have a problem with. It's when those views start making claims about the world and limiting the freedoms of others.
Right.
that's when it becomes an issue, at least for me. And Chick-fil-A is seeking to limit the freedoms of others.
Yeah, I agree. It's a matter of the fact that actions have repercussions. Chick-fil-A can hold whatever views it wants, and that I'm gonna qualify that with this is Chick-fil-A's opinion, not just the CEO or the CEO or the son or whatever. $5 million coming from the coffers of Chick-fil-A itself to go to anti-gay organizations makes it Chick-fil-A's policy, not the head of the company's policy. But you have to be prepared to not complain when people say, "Hey, that's abhorrent. That's a horrible position you're taking, and I'm not going to support you because of it."
They're a publicly traded company, aren't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
So therefore, by them investing money, they would have to approve it with their stakeholders.
I don't think Chick-fil-A is a publicly traded company.
Well, if it is, then they would, but if not, then no.
And even if they were, I think that there's what what their responsibility is to the shareholders is I don't know, that's up for debate. You know what I've heard, another tactic that's sort of been thrown out there in the whole Chick-fil-A thing is I've heard people say, like, well, so what? They, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they said that that the movie theater chain Cinemark funded Prop 8. And I don't know if that's true or not.
I haven't heard that.
But if it is, I'm not going to go to Cinemark either. You
Right.
know, like that's just a diversionary tactic to not talk about the subject at hand.
And now you're out and your buddies here. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you? Now they're gonna get angry at you. So
I have to look into that Cinemark thing.
But
But if that's true, like, well, just as guilty. They're in the same group, and I'm not going to go to them either.
and touching on this hate, I know we only have a few minutes left. I would like to talk about the marriage thing, the Baptist church.
Baptist church, yeah.
Oh yeah, right on.
About I'm sure a lot of, I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but it's on the Non-Religious Life Facebook site. The black couple wanted to have their wedding at a church they attended to. They've been going there a long time. It's predominantly white Baptist church. And the day before they were going to have their wedding there, the pastor came to them and said that the congregation didn't want them to have their wedding there. The pastor wasn't against it.
Well, clarification, it wasn't just, it was white people of the congregation did not want them, not just...
Right. White people only wanted white people to be married there.
Yeah.
They didn't want any other race to be married there. And the pastor said the only reason he went along with it was he was going to get voted out if he did hold the wedding there. So the next day he just held it somewhere else. And then what's funny is the church officials, I guess, not too long after that, came together and decided that anyone's allowed to be married there. So I'm curious as to who the church officials are made up of too.
Yeah.
I think they did that as like, we're going to get a black eye from this.
Yeah.
We're going to look bad.
Yeah,
so
how did
let's
this
do
get out
something.
to the public type thing?
Yeah, who told?
Yeah, and granted, just to let everyone know, it was a church in Mississippi, I think it was. But, I mean, I honestly wouldn't have expected that this day and age. I know there's still a lot of racism and things, but especially for a black couple that's been going to the church for quite a while, you would think all the congregation
picked
knows
up on
them.
this.
Either they would know that they're not welcome there, or you would think the other people that go to that church are their friends and wouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
It's an odd story.
It's a horrible story.
Yeah.
What's funny is that with a lot of the gay marriage issues that are the debate that's going around, I always like that meme that shows the protesters in support of gay marriage beside the protesters that are from the picture from the 60s during the civil rights movement, and, in support of votes for blacks.
Right.
And I'm always like, and I agree with that. It's like, Ken, you said that it's that thing like the religious leaders oppose it, and then they get into it, and then they say, "Oh, it was our idea all along." And
Yeah, absolutely.
and this church is like taking 5 steps backwards.
Right.
Well, I think there's a bigger issue here that instead of pinpointing Chick-fil-A and pinpointing this church in Mississippi, I think we need to look at a bigger picture. There's something else going on in terms of why are all these things that we as a society have collectively walked past, that we've gotten past, that we no longer support slavery, we no longer support, oppression to anybody, not just, individual. Why is it now backed by religious beliefs becoming issues again? Why is it becoming a race issue again? Why is it, it's no longer oppression of women, it's now the sanctity of marriage. It's but it's always been that. It's always been something like that, and why is it resurfacing again? I mean, it's not like, I know a lot of people saying, well, we never had closure in the first place, and it's just rearing its head, but I don't think that's true. I think there's something bigger going here. I mean, it goes back to the idea of the rally in Texas, the rally in Florida, and the rally coming up in Philadelphia, all these prayer rallies, and it's starting to take traction on a bigger scale of these thoughts of racism, sexism, and basically homophobia, and it's all 100% backed by religious beliefs. Are they trying to set themselves up to start another crusades, type? I'm not saying that that's what they're trying to do, but in that same vein of where we can have our own religious war in America. I'm not talking about necessarily having, strapping the bombs on and having the jihad, but I'm just saying, why is this happening? And is it because that they are trying to put that line in the sand and say, let's fight this out?
Well, I think one interesting thing is, in the late 20th century, you saw it went from, even before then, you had women's suffrage, there was that movement. Then you moved to, blacks being able to vote and the civil rights, and then you move through each of these different phases like you were talking about. But now it's kind of like we're just talking about everything, it's just all over the internet. And I think I credit that towards the internet. Everyone's allowed to talk about every single little thing at one time. And I think with the internet helping us, it's also helping them as well. They're able to communicate and, devise a strategy.
But I think it might be deeper than it just that we're able to see more of the news happening, see more of the hate happening. Because, take for example, this is a church in Mississippi. They are denying couples, not gay couples, denying couples to get married in their church because of their racist background or beliefs. When there was in North Carolina, it was in North Carolina when they were talking about when they passed the law for against gay marriage, the woman that was interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and the whole time it was the preacher in the church that said that they should just put gay men in a pen and gay women in a pen, and then just fly over dropping food on them, and they'll die out. And Anderson Cooper was interviewing the woman, and the woman was saying, "Yeah, I agree with it. They just need to die out." And it's just like, you don't get that deep hatred for people for reading multiple articles on the internet.
No.
Well, I think you're right in that the internet is working for them too, the same way it's working for atheists and secular groups. But I don't think they're gaining traction. I think they're just gaining volume. That's all they're doing. They're just getting louder, and I think this is the kicking and screaming that gets associated with being dragged into the modern era.
Yeah, I agree with Bob on that. I think they're not gaining traction or ground. They're just getting louder. This is like a wounded animal trapped in a corner. They're just getting more vicious. They see their world shrinking around them, and they're gonna fight tooth and nail to get anything they can. But I agree with Dr. Price on the issue. I think all these issues are generational issues. One generation might be passing them to the next, but the amount of people passing on those ideas are smaller and smaller every day. And eventually we will look at, gay marriage or any other issue like this the same way we look at, slavery. Sure, there's probably always going to be some people who are against it, but it's not long in the future that it's going to be almost a completely moot issue.
But it's not. I mean, even with slavery, it's not like slavery ended and we as a society go, oh, yeah, we all hate slavery. Slavery just went underground.
Right. But the point being is that when slavery, the abolitionists in the United States, there were Christian abolitionists and there were Christian pro-slavery members, right? But it's just the abolitionists won, and so then religion says, "Oh, see, this was our idea all along."
No, I think what
that's
happened.
how they're able to persist.
No, I think what happened is they just got smarter in their methods. I don't think. Yeah, sure, it's in the books that states can't have slaves, but it's also on the books right now that we can have child slavery on American farms.
Well, that's
that is still
issue.
slavery. That's not a separate issue.
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying is that people would be opposed to that if they were aware of it.
That's what I'm saying. They got smarter about their methods.
It's able to persist because it occurs under the radar and surreptitiously. That's not a religious issue.
I guarantee it is. I bet the backing on it. It's corporation and has religious backing to it. I mean, they didn't win. They didn't lose. They just got smarter in their methods.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's also not as widespread and pervasive as it was.
It's in every state right now.
Every
state,
but not.
It wasn't
not
in every state during the Civil War. But I'm just saying.
This is a thing with you, isn't it?
I'm just saying. It's just like, that's why I said we need to step back and look at the underlying reasons for this. It's not because, I mean, true. It is because we're seeing it more. I mean, it's a little bit of everything, but it's not just because it's one church here and it's Chick-fil-A here and little pockets of these little. Oh, look at these inbred or whatever it may be. It's a bigger picture. Why are they trying to do these rallies in different states? They're grouping their numbers.
It's just volume. It's just volume, man. They're just trying to shout the loudest.
I think it's hand waving.
I think it's kind of like the last final blow before they die out. You know how there's always that final battle cry, that last attempt at trying to overthrow. And this is it. Like you said, it's not as much traction as it is volume. This is their volume. They're screaming, hoping that someone will come to rescue them.
But they're also in other countries building worlds. People who never had Christian thoughts. They're going to undeveloped countries and saying, this is the Bible. This is the book that you should believe in. And they're trying to gain traction and rebuild there. If they lose here, great. Yay. They're gone. But India, Honduras, South Africa, Ivory Coast, they're there.
Yeah. I mean, took us a while to wipe out smallpox too. That wasn't easy, but they did it. They had to go in the corners of the world and.
But I have sad news. A report just came out saying that there's been an outbreak of smallpox. That's different strands. So. Again, just like but anyway, I'm gonna get off this soapbox.
Yeah, no. I mean, Rome definitely wasn't built in a day, and it's gonna take time. But I do think it's a generational issue. And we're gonna stamp out that sort of thinking in our country, and then it'll be a whole other fight going to these undeveloped countries, which are getting berated with religious literature and religious instruction. And have to deal with it there too.
Who posted the picture on Facebook? I don't know if it was on the TNRL page or somewhere that had the marquee at the church and said like logic is the devil's language.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, not real, but yes.
You don't think it was real?
No, actually, I found the website where you can make it. It's a it's a church sign generator, and I love a good, hilarious, and or ironic church sign. But
I fell for that shit.
I know, so did I. It's okay.
All right. So we have like 1 minute left. So you want to wrap it up, Ken?
Yeah, sure. So as always,
Wait.
do you have any?
Let's give him
What?
last words before we do this. You
Okay.
wanna plug
Ben,
website,
go.
plug whatever.
All right, yeah. If you want more information, go like us on our page. It's facebook.com/SSAODU. So super simple to remember. Like I said, Saturday, we're having a fundraising dinner. Just come out and eat with us. We get some of your money. It's at Ruby Tuesdays, Tidewater here in Norfolk, right across from the Walmart and the Southern Shopping Center, I think it's called. So 6:30 in the evening, come by. They have really good food and an awesome salad bar, by the way. And if you're a student, definitely like the page so you can meet up and hang out with us.
The Ruby Tuesday thing, is everybody going to be sitting in a group or?
It should be in a group depending on how many people come.
Okay.
I know like through Tidewater Atheist Group and Hampton Roads Heathens and various other, I think we have about 20-25 people that should be there. So I mean, it'd be nice if we could take over the whole restaurant.
Okay.
But we'll see.
All right. Well, Jason will be out of town and Ken's in California, but I'll be there.
Ken will be in Canada.
I'll be in Canada at that time.
You can teleport.
Yeah.
I could. I wish I had a teleporter. I really do.
God,
If you believed in God, you could do it. But anyway, take
Yeah.
it back.
All things are possible through God.
I just want to say about Ruby Tuesdays is they have a great veggie burger.
No, they don't. No, they
Yes, they
don't.
do. Yes, they do.
No, they changed the motherfucker. They have
Did they?
the shittiest fucking burger ever. It's now.
When did they do that?
Miley and I went there like last year, and now it's like a little rice patty that somebody took a shit on.
Son of a bitch. That sucks. They had,
But
they
their
had
salad bar is
a
good.
great one.
They did have a great one, but no, fuckers.
Or bottomless steak fries.
Anyway, take us out.
All right. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns? You want to yell at us for some reason? Leave a voicemail, and Jason will listen to it and then tell us about it. 757-337-2195. I did that without looking at the screen. By the way.
Awesome. It's about time. How many years?
I know. Email non-religious at zombie-popcorn.com. You can like us on Facebook, Google+, iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Oh, God. There's a million things. Just go to the website, zombiepopcorn.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You get information about this show, all the other shows, some great stuff that Jason puts together. He puts a lot of work into it, as well as giveaways. Wonderful giveaways, and we're glad that we could have a giveaway winner here with us today.
Yay.
So, thank you to Ben for coming on the show, and we'll see you next week, or 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
It got out here.
I thought I was a good Christian.
Jesus died on a cross. I go to church every Sunday. It got out here. Then I read that this Jesus died on a cross for a rotten hooker.
I thought I was a good Christian.
I go to church every Sunday.
I thought I was a good Christian.
I go to church every Sunday. I'm a very religious person.
I thought I was a good Christian.
The very lies the serpent told to Eve in the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden. The gospel of Jesus Christ. Spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ. Spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ. Spreads confusion and promotes lies. The gospel of Jesus Christ. Spreads confusion and promotes lies.